Welcome to Savita Dental College Lexica series in Aesthetics, Orthodontics. We will be seeing about the diagnosis of a patient. Shape of the head. The shape of the head is evaluated using the cephalic index. Cephalic index is the ratio of maximum skull width to maximum skull length. A head is supposed to be dolichocephalic if the ratio is below 75.9. It is said to be mesocephalic if it is between 76 and 80.9, and it's brachycephalic if the value is above 81. Facial form is given by the facial morphology index, which is the ratio between the facial height and the bizygomatic width. The face is said to be uroprosopic if the value is less than 83.9, mesoprosopic if the ratio is between 84 to 87.9, and leptoprosopic if the value is greater than 88. Facial proportions. Transverse proportions is given by the rule of fifths. According to this, the face can be divided into 5 equal parts based on lines drawn along the inner canthus of the eye, the outer canthus of the eye, and the tragus. Each portion is equal to the width of the eyes. The nose is enclosed within lines that are drawn along the inner canthus of the eye. When a line is drawn along the pupils, they fall on the commissures of the mouth. The lines drawn along the outer canthus will fall along the angles of the jaws. Vertical proportions of the face. The face can be divided into 3 equal parts. The upper part lies between the hairline and the glabella, the middle third between the glabella and the subnasal, and the lower third between the subnasal and menton. Facial asymmetry. It can be evaluated by the following reference planes. The vertical reference plane, which is the facial mid-sagittal plane, which is basically between the skin nascent to the subnasal. Upper horizontal plane, which is a bipupillary plane. Lower horizontal plane is a parallel plane to the pupillary plane that passes through the stomia. Based on these 3 lines, the various parts of the face can be evaluated for any asymmetry. The nose should not be considered while seeing for the facial midline because the nose can be deviated and can give a false indication of a facial asymmetry. Facial profile. Facial profile can be either straight, convex, or concave. It is basically based on 2 lines. The first line extending from the nascent to the subnasal, and the second line extending from the subnasal to the pugonia. Forehead. The profile is influenced by the forehead. The shape of the forehead can be classified into a flat forehead, protruding forehead, or a steep forehead. Each of these foreheads influence the facial profile. Nose. The size of the nose and position of the nose influence the aesthetic appearance of the face. Size of the nose. The length of the nose is twice the width of the nose. Okay, the nose again can be classified as a normal nose, microrhinitic nose, and a macrorhinitic nose. In a normal nose, the ratio between the bridge and the base of the nose is 2:1. A microrhinitic type of nose has a short nasal bridge and an elevated tip, whereas the macrorhinitic nose has a long bridge and a protruding tip. Nasal contour. Based on the contour of the bridge, the nose can be divided into straight, convex, and concave. The nostrils. The width of the nostrils, that is the alar base, is 70% of the length of the nose. The nostrils are oval and should be bilaterally symmetrical. Root of the nose. The root of the nose also affects facial aesthetics by making the nose appear long or short. Example, a shallow root of the nose makes the nose appear long, while a deep root of the nose makes the nose appear large. Lips. The lips are normally enclosed within 2 lines that are drawn along the pupils. Lip length. The normal length of the upper lip is 19 to 22 mm, while the length of the lower lip is between 38 to 44 mm. Basically, the upper lip is half the size of the lower lip. Lip competency. Lips can be classified as competent or incompetent. If the upper lip and the lower lip contact at rest, it is said to be competent. If they do not contact at a rest position, it is said to be incompetent. Upper tooth to lip relation. When the patient slightly opens the mouth, the amount of exposure of the upper incisor should be 2 mm. Nasolabial angle. The normal range is between 90 to 110 degrees. This is an angle between the nose and the lip based on tangents drawn along the base of the nose and the upper lip. It can be classified into a normal nose, an acute nose, or an obtuse nose. An acute nose has an angle less than 90 degrees, an obtuse nose has an angle greater than 110 degrees. Mentolabial sulcus. This is a gentle curve and may indicate lip tension. When deeply curved, the lower lip is flaccid. A deep curvature is generally secondary to maxillary incisor impingement in deep bite cases with class 2. When it is flattened, it demonstrates tension on the tissues. Example, class 3. Chin. The contour of the chin is not only determined by the bony structure but also by the thickness of the mentalis muscle. The soft tissue sometimes compensates for the deficiency in the bony chin. The chin contour is assessed in connection with the lower lip position and configuration of the mentolabial fold. It can be classified into a normal chin, a protruded chin, and a deficient chin. Thank you.